Sairam students, welcome back. Today we'll be continuing with the lesson of Standard 7 Geography, the lesson number 5, chapter number 5, winds. We have already finished with our first part. In the first part, we learned how winds are generated, and we also learned the types of winds in the first part and the factors which help in the generation of wind. Now, in our first part, we learnt about the planetary winds. The planetary winds are winds which blow over a vast region on the surface of the earth. Yes, isn't it? And what are the different types of planetary winds we learnt? We learnt about the easterlies, we learnt about the westerlies and the polar winds. Easterlies are winds which blow from the east. Yes, and westerlies are winds which blow from the west. Okay, and polar winds are winds which blow in the polar region. Okay, fine. Now we will be continuing with the second part. What does the second part has in store for us children? Let's go ahead. Okay, now look away. Winds in the southern hemisphere blow with great velocities. The southern hemisphere is mostly occupied by oceans. In this hemisphere, the obstacle caused by the relief of land surface is almost absent. As there is no obstacle, winds blow with greater velocities in the southern hemisphere as compared to northern hemisphere. Their characteristics are as follows. Okay, so children, we are very much aware that most of our, we have two hemispheres, the northern and the southern hemispheres, and most of the land relief is there in the northern hemispheres compared to the southern hemisphere. So in the southern hemispheres, these winds blow with greater velocities because there is no land surface to obstruct them. Okay, and as a result of this, the winds blow at a higher velocity, and there are certain characteristics or names given to them. Okay, the first one, beyond 40 degrees. Okay, you can see over here beyond 40 degrees, the winds blow with tremendous velocities. These winds are called roaring 40s. Yes, so 40 degrees south, with the winds blowing with tremendous velocities in 40 degrees south, are called as roaring 40s. Yes, so that roaring sound is there, and since they are blowing in 40 degrees south, they are called as roaring 40s. Then around 50 degrees south, winds are stormy, hence they are called furious 50s. Yes, so 50 degrees south, furious 50s, compared to those roaring 40s, their velocity is greater, so furious 50s. And the storms around 60 degrees south make tremendous noise, and hence they are called screeching 60s. That screeching sound comes, yes, it's unbearable. So those storms beyond around 60 degrees south are called as screeching 60s. Yes, so 40 degrees south we have roaring 40s, 50 degrees south we have furious 50s, and 60 degrees south we have screeching 60s. So these are the winds which blow with tremendous velocity, with higher velocity in the southern hemisphere, because the southern hemisphere, it's mostly occupied by oceans. Yes, and there is no much land surface in the southern hemisphere, so there is no obstacle or any hindrance for them to blow. So they blow with higher, greater velocity as compared to the winds which blow in the northern hemisphere. Fine, so we'll go ahead. Okay, the next type of wind which we are going to learn is about local winds. Now, what are local winds? The winds that blow for a short duration of time, originate in specific regions, and blow over a limited area are called local winds. Within that region only it blows. Whereas planetary winds, they blow over a vast surface of the earth, isn't it? So, because see, when we learned about westerlies, we learned that these winds blow from the west, yes, from the southwest towards the northeast, isn't it? And from the northwest towards the southeast they blow, isn't it? So they blow from two different hemispheres, whereas local winds, they blow within a specific region. Okay, the limited area they blow, and that is why they are called as local winds. The winds that blow for a short duration of time, originate in specific regions, and blow over limited area are called local winds. Local winds affect the climate of the region where they blow. Since they blow over that limited region, so they will only affect the climate of that particular region. Okay, now suppose if there are local winds blowing on around somewhere in Bengal, yes, so those that will not have an effect of the climate in Mumbai, because it is the local wind which are generated over there, it will be over there only, isn't it? So it will not reach the have any climatic effect on a region somewhere far away from there, isn't it? So local winds affect the climate of a region where they blow. These winds are known by different local names in different regions where they blow. Okay, so specific names are given to these winds which blow in different localities, different regions. Let's see what names they have. Here we can have here. So you can see the name of the wind. Okay, you can see over here the first one, Lu. What is the nature of the local wind over here? Yes, major local winds called as Lu, hot and dry. And what is the characteristics and areas of influence? It blows in the North Indian plains during the summer seasons, generally in the afternoons. They come from the hot Thar desert. So desert areas where it's a hot climate. So this local wind is called as Lu. It is hot and dry, tremendous hot. Okay, so they blow over the North Indian plains during the summer season, generally in the afternoons they blow, and they will blow from the hot Thar desert. The second one is Simoom. Yes, it is a hot, dry and destructive. Why destructive? They blow with tremendous velocities from the Sahara and Arabian deserts. As these winds are quite strong, they are destructive. Desert regions, you don't have much of blockages for obstructions for them, so they blow with tremendous velocity and they are destructive. Okay, these type of winds which are called as Simoom. So you have it in the blowing from in the Sahara or and the Arabian deserts. Chinook, that is the snow eater. Yes, Chinook. It is warm and dry. These blow down the eastern slopes of Rocky Mountains of North America. They cause the snow to melt and increase the temperature in the valleys. Okay, so these Chinook, that is the snow eater, it eats the snow. It means it is that chill which is there, it is coming, it being eaten, and it is warm and dry. Okay, so they blow over the slopes of Rocky Mountains of North America, and they cause the snow eater. They call it snow eater because they cause the snow to melt, and which increases the temperature in the valleys. Mistral, it is cold and dry, and these blow in Spain, France and areas around the Mediterranean Sea. They originate from the Alps, and these cold winds reduce the temperature in the coastal areas. So these winds, the Mistral winds, local winds which are there, they're cold and dry, and they blow in Spain, France and around the Mediterranean Sea. They originate from the Alps, and since their temperature falls down in the coastal areas, they are cold. Then the Bora. These are cold and dry. These blow from the Alps mountains towards the coastal areas of Italy. The next one is Pampero, which is also cold and dry. They blow around the Pampas grasslands in South America. And then we have the Foehn, which is hot and dry. These blow along the northern slopes of Alps. Alps, we have the Alps mountains which are there. So they blow over there, and it is hot. These winds are hot and dry. So some major local winds in the world we learned about: Lu, Simoom, Chinook, Mistral, Bora, Pampero and Foehn. Okay, now moving ahead. Okay. Now look at this picture over here, children. Okay, you can see the picture over here. It's about near the shore. Why do breezes blow from the sea to the land during the day, and when do the winds blow from the land to the sea? Which winds are called sea breezes and which are called land breezes? Why? And which part of India are the land and sea breezes experienced? These are questions which we'll get the answers to. Okay. So over here you can see the land breeze. Why do breeze blow from the land sea to the land during the day? And when do winds blow from the land to the sea? And what are the sea breezes and what are the land breezes, and why are they called so? And in which part of India we can see the land and sea breezes? Let's see. The land is made up of dense matter. Land is stable and opaque. As a result, heat is transferred at a greater speed and in a higher proportion. Hence, land gets heated quickly. Compared to water, land gets heated quickly because it has a dense matter. It is stable and opaque. It's not moving. The land is not moving. It is in one place. And it is opaque, means it is not transparent. So as a result of this, the heat is transferred at a greater speed and higher proportion on the land. So during summer days, when you go out on the roads also, they get heated up properly, heated up so quickly that you can feel the heat from the road also. So it gets heated at a higher proportion and quickly also, at a higher rate also. So land gets heated quickly. Now what about water? The density of water is comparatively less as compared to land, and they are water is transparent and unstable. Yes, because water keeps on flowing. You can see the rivers or the sea, they keep on flowing, isn't it? It's not stagnant, it's not stationary. So they are transparent and unstable. Hence water does not get heated quickly. As a result, the air pressure in land and water areas is different. Isn't it? We have learnt about air pressure also. Yes, higher the temperature, lower the air pressure, lower the temperature, higher the air pressure. Isn't it? We have learned this. So as a result of this, the air pressure on land and in water is also different. You will not have the same air pressure on land and in water. Okay. Now in the coastal areas, land gets heated during the daytime. Hence the air on the land also gets heated and the air pressure on land decreases. Okay, what happens in the coastal areas, land gets heated during daytime and the air on the land also gets heated and the air pressure on the land decreases. Heated, it is getting heated up, means higher the temperature, the air pressure will reduce, it will decrease. So on land, if the temperature is high, the air pressure will be low. Okay, and the sea water gets heated slowly, hence the air is less heated and the air pressure remains high. So in the sea water, when it gets heated slowly, so the temperature is not rising that high, so the air pressure remains high where the heat is less. Okay, and winds blowing from the sea towards the land are called sea breezes. Okay, so winds which blow from the land towards the sea, yes, winds which blow from the sea towards the land, you're getting those winds from the sea, so they are called as sea breezes. Okay, now at night, land cools down faster as compared to the sea and therefore has high air pressure. Now we are talking about the night time. During the daytime, land gets heated quickly. Similarly, at night, the land also cools down comparatively quickly as compared to water. Okay, so when it is during the daytime, the land gets heated quickly, the air pressure is low, and at night, when the temperature comes down, the air pressure increases. Okay, so hence the land breeze blow from the land towards the sea. When does it blow? When the land breeze blow from the land towards the sea, and sea breezes blow from the sea towards the land, isn't it? So sea breezes, they blow towards the land during daytime, and land breezes, they blow from this land towards the sea at night. Okay, fine. Going ahead, next type of winds, seasonal winds or monsoon winds. We already have experienced the monsoon season, so much of rains we had, isn't it? So these seasonal winds. Monsoon winds are generated due to the uneven heating of land and water in different seasons. We have already learned what are these monsoon winds. Monsoon winds are nothing but the land and sea breezes at a higher level. Okay, so monsoon winds are generated due to uneven heating of land and water in different seasons. Okay, during summertime, land gets heated quickly and cool, and the water takes comparatively lesser time. So different seasons, uneven heating of water causes monsoon winds to be generated. During summer, monsoons blow from the sea to the land, and winter they blow from the land to the sea. Yes, during summers, monsoons blow from the sea to the land, and winter they blow from the land to the sea. See children, understand this. Summertime, high temperature, pressure is low. Yes, on the land. isn't it? Compared to the sea, low temperature, pressure is high. So it will be blow during summers, monsoons will blow from the sea towards the land, and in winter they will blow from the land to the sea. Where in winter the temperature is less, the air pressure will be high. So what will happen? It will blow from the high pressure to the low air pressure, isn't it? So it will blow from the land to the sea, and in summers it will blow from the sea to the land. So Southeast Asia, East Africa, North Australia are the regions where the pronounced effects of these winds are felt. So where can you feel the effects of seasonal winds? You can have it in the Southeast Asia, East Africa and North Australia. The regions where you can have the most of the effects of these winds, the seasonal winds. So seasonal winds or monsoon winds, how are they generated? They are generated because of the uneven heating of land and water in different seasons. Okay, and during summers, monsoons blow from the sea to the land, and in winter it blows from the land to the sea. And which are the regions which have the pronounced effect of these winds? You have the Southeast Asia, East Africa and North Australia. Okay, over here you can see, children. Okay, so over here Africa you have, okay, this is Australia you have, and Southeast Asia will be somewhere over here. Okay, so these are the regions where you will have the pronounced effect of the seasonal winds or the monsoon winds. Okay, now the influence of monsoon winds is seen in summer and winter seasons in the Indian subcontinent. Okay, so due to these winds, the Indian subcontinent experiences monsoon and retreating monsoon seasons apart from the summer and winter. Okay, over here children you can see the southwest and here the northeast retreating monsoon. So what happens? The influence of monsoon winds is seen in summer and winter seasons in the Indian subcontinent, and due to these winds the Indian subcontinent experiences monsoon. Okay, we experience monsoon over here, and retreating monsoon apart from summer and winter season. So we have summer, winter and the monsoon season. So because of these conditions, these climatic conditions, we have the experience of influencing the monsoon winds and also having rainfall. Okay, going ahead. Monsoon winds are in fact sea and land breezes blowing on large scale. Didn't I tell you? What are monsoon winds? They are sea and land breezes blowing on a large scale. Okay, so what are sea winds? Sea breezes they blow from the sea towards the land, and land breezes they blow from the land towards the sea. Okay, now most of the precipitation in the Indian subcontinent is the effect of monsoon winds. Precipitation means the rainfall which you get. Okay, so in the rainfall or the snow we have, it is the result of the effect of monsoon winds. After crossing the equator, they blow from the southwest towards the Indian subcontinent during the period from June to September. They are called southwest monsoon winds. What are they called? Southwest monsoon winds. And they are full of moisture. Now we'll understand this. After crossing the equator, they blow from the southwest towards the Indian subcontinent during the period of from June to September. So you will see it over here, children. Yeah, they blow from the southwest. Yes, from the southwest seasonal winds you get. See, you can see it over here. Okay, you see southwest seasonal winds, you get it from, they blow from the southwest towards the, yes, they blow it towards the Indian subcontinent in the month of June to September, and they are called as southwest monsoons. What are they called? Southwest monsoons, and they are full of moisture. Then in the month of from September to December, because of low pressure, yes, low pressure area developing near the equator, winds blow from the Indian subcontinent towards the equator. Okay, so you will see winds are being blown. Okay, so winds are blown from here towards the equator. Yes, winds are being blown from the Indian subcontinent, towards the equator. Yes, so you can see that red arrow there is blowing from the Indian subcontinent towards the equator from the period September to December. Okay, from the period from June to September, it crosses from southwest, crossing equator towards the Indian subcontinent, and from September to December they start blowing from the Indian subcontinent towards the equator because of the low pressure area which is developed. Okay, and these are called northeast retreating monsoon winds. What are they called? Northeast retreating monsoon winds, and these are dry winds. Whereas the southwest monsoon winds are full of moisture, the northeast retreating monsoon winds are dry. Okay, fine. Going ahead. Okay, so this is what we learned today about local winds and monsoon winds. Local winds, they blow in a specific region over a period of time, and they affect the climate of that particular region. Okay, then we learnt about the land breeze and the sea breeze, and we learnt about the seasonal winds, that is the monsoon winds. Yes, the southwest monsoons and the northeast retreating monsoon winds. Okay, I hope that is clear to you, children. Fine. So we'll continue with the remaining part of the lesson in our next session. Till then, Sai Ram. Thank you, children.